Article 725 of the National Electrical Code, or NEC, covers Class 2 and Class 3 remote control, signaling, and power-limited circuits. Section 725.152 specifically addresses raceways and enclosures. Subsection focuses on underground runs. The NEC mandates that raceways installed underground must be listed for direct burial or specifically approved for that purpose. There is an exception to this rule for raceways in damp or wet locations. This exception allows the use of Schedule 40 or Schedule 80 polyvinyl chloride, or PVC, conduit that isn't listed for direct burial, provided it meets certain conditions. These conditions are that the raceways must be installed within a concrete envelope that is at least 2 inches thick, and they must be covered by a minimum of 18 inches of concrete or earth. The key point is that if you're installing conduit underground, it must adhere to Article 725.152. If the inspector is requiring the raceway to be listed for direct burial or to meet the exceptions requirements, they are following the code. It is important to understand the definitions of damp and wet locations according to the NEC. A damp location refers to an outdoor area where condensation, moisture, or water is regularly present. A wet location is an outdoor area where water is dripping, splashing, or flowing regularly. Cables that are plenum rated are designed for use in air handling spaces. They are not suitable for direct burial or use in other damp or wet locations. If the installed conduit is plenum rated, it's not appropriate for underground use since it's not designed for direct burial and doesn't meet the exception criteria. In this case, it should be replaced with a conduit type that is either listed for direct burial or fulfills the requirements of the exception for PVC conduit encased in concrete. To summarize, firstly, underground raceways must be listed for direct burial or approved for the purpose. Secondly, an exception exists for Schedule 40 or Schedule 80 PVC conduit in a concrete envelope. Thirdly, plenum-rated cables are not suitable for direct burial or wet locations. Fourthly, damp locations involve regular condensation or moisture, while wet locations involve dripping or splashing water. Remember to always consult the latest edition of the National Electrical Code and local amendments for the most accurate and up-to-date requirements. Using the wrong type of conduit can lead to electrical hazards and code violations. The NEC is there to ensure safe electrical installations, and adhering to its guidelines is crucial for protecting people and property. When working with electrical installations, it is essential to consider the environmental conditions and choose materials that are specifically designed for those conditions. For underground applications, direct burial rated conduit is designed to withstand the elements and protect the wiring inside. Using conduit that is not rated for direct burial in underground installations can result in premature failure, corrosion, and potential electrical hazards. Similarly, when installing wiring in damp or wet locations, it is important to use cables and connectors that are specifically designed for those environments. These cables and connectors are typically rated for wet locations and are designed to prevent moisture from entering the electrical system. Failure to use the correct materials in damp or wet locations can lead to corrosion, electrical shorts, and potential fire hazards. Plenum-rated cables are designed for use in air handling spaces, such as ducts and plenums, where they are required to meet strict fire safety standards. These cables are designed to minimize the spread of fire and smoke in the event of a fire. Plenum-rated cables are not designed for direct burial or use in damp or wet locations, and using them in these applications can result in premature failure and potential electrical hazards. When working on electrical installations, it is always important to consult the National Electrical Code and local amendments to ensure that you are using the correct materials and installation methods for the specific application. This will help to ensure the safety of the electrical system and prevent potential hazards. It is also important to be aware of the different types of electrical enclosures that are available and to choose the correct enclosure for the specific application. Electrical enclosures are designed to protect electrical equipment from the environment and to prevent unauthorized access. There are different types of enclosures available for different environments such as indoor, outdoor, damp, and wet locations. When choosing an electrical enclosure, it is important to consider the environmental conditions and to choose an enclosure that is specifically designed for those conditions. For example, when installing electrical equipment in a wet location, it is important to use an enclosure that is rated for wet locations. These enclosures are designed to prevent water from entering the enclosure and damaging the electrical equipment inside. Similarly, when installing electrical equipment in a hazardous location, it is important to use an enclosure that is rated for hazardous locations. These enclosures are designed to contain any potential explosions and to prevent them from spreading to the surrounding area. In addition to choosing the correct materials and installation methods, it is also important to follow all safety precautions when working on electrical installations. This includes wearing appropriate personal protective equipment, such as gloves and safety glasses, and working with energized circuits whenever possible. It is also important to be aware of the potential hazards of electricity and to take steps to avoid them. This includes avoiding contact with live wires, working in dry conditions, and using insulated tools. By following these safety precautions, you can help to ensure your safety and the safety of others when working on electrical installations. Finally, it is important to remember that electrical work is regulated by the National Electrical Code and local amendments. These codes are designed to ensure the safety of electrical installations and to prevent potential hazards. It is important to be familiar with the applicable codes and to follow them carefully when working on electrical installations. If you are not familiar with the applicable codes, it is important to consult with a qualified electrician or electrical inspector. They can provide you with guidance on the proper materials, installation methods, and safety precautions to use when working on electrical installations. In addition to the National Electrical Code, there may also be local amendments that apply to electrical installations in your area. These amendments may be more stringent than the NEC requirements and may address specific issues that are relevant to your local area. It is important to be aware of any local amendments that apply to electrical installations in your area and to follow them carefully. By following the National Electrical Code, local amendments, and all applicable safety precautions, you can help to ensure the safety of electrical installations and prevent potential hazards. Remember that electrical work should only be performed by qualified individuals who are familiar with the applicable codes and safety precautions. If you are not qualified to perform electrical work, it is important to hire a licensed electrician to do the work for you. Electrical safety is a critical aspect of any construction or renovation project. Proper planning, material selection, and installation practices are essential to ensure the safety of occupants and prevent electrical hazards. Consulting with qualified professionals and adhering to established codes and regulations can significantly minimize the risk of electrical incidents. Ignoring these guidelines can lead to serious consequences, including electrical shocks, fires, and property damage. Therefore, it is crucial to prioritize electrical safety in all aspects of construction and maintenance. Remember, electricity is a powerful force that demands respect and adherence to safety protocols. Do not take shortcuts or compromise on safety when working with electrical systems. Always seek professional help when needed and stay informed about the latest electrical safety standards. By doing so, you can create a safer environment for yourself, your family, and your community.